Reports are coming in that this mysterious outbreak has spread to the city. Evacuation efforts are in place, but we've lost communication with our local reporters. We're being told that the National Guard has been deployed, but it's still chaos down there. I repeat, the military's dropping bombs in Louisville as they're now deeming the city a lost cause. May God help us all.
What would you do if you woke up one morning in the city and you were the only living person there? You are not alone though, because everyone else has died and turned into a bloodthirsty zombie. Would you be able to survive if you were trapped in the city for 100 days? This is Eric with Pixel Rookie, and I wanted to find this out for myself. This is a heavily modded challenge with standard settings set in Louisville. I created a character named Hot Dog and picked a series of traits to maximize my chances of survival. Things like high thirst, weak stomach, smoker, slow reader, but this let me get the strong and athletic traits while also being desensitized. I also had the depraved trait, which meant I started with absolutely nothing and would be randomly spawned somewhere within Louisville. With all that out of the way, it was time to begin. Will I survive 100 days trapped in Louisville? Sit back, relax, and let's find out. I spawned into Louisville with nothing but my tighty-whities and an optimistic attitude, which doesn't really amount to much. I immediately started to dig around the room to see what I could find. Some tights, a short-sleeved shirt, and a bandit jacket with a hoodie. In the first minute, I went from looking like a naked homeless man to a fully dressed homeless man. Perfect. Leaving the bedroom, I tried to find anything useful to take with me. Smokes, and some medical supplies. Not too bad. In the kids' bedroom, I found a pack of painkillers. Right. Oh, and actual pants. That looks much better. Downstairs, I found something very important. Bourbon. I had to fight all my impulses to immediately chug it as I'd need this later on. That was a hard decision to make though. 2 bottles of wine went into my pockets as well. I was also lucky enough to find some shoes off the corpse by the front door. I was fully dressed now and ready to venture outside and see where I actually spawned. So I was pretty much in the middle of Louisville in this section of townhouses that was right beside the baseball stadium. I'd have to come up with a longer term plan soon, but for now, I just need to get some food and find a weapon. The logical next step would be to go through the townhouses as quietly as possible and gather anything useful. Moving to the closest neighboring townhouse, the back door was locked, so I pried open the window with ease. As I was climbing through, I noticed there was a zombie right in front of me that I quickly shoved out of the way. There was a second zombie though, and as I was fighting her, I decided it'd be a genius idea to stomp on the zombie that posed no threat instead of the one lunging at me. 2 times in a row. This led to me getting hurt and really set me off to a great start for this challenge. I finally took the first zombie out, and then the other. Immediately checking on my wound, it was just a scratch, thank goodness. Good thing I didn't chug that bourbon earlier too, because I used it to disinfect the wound before tearing up a bandage and wrapping my scratched hand up. Great first encounter. I snagged a couple of the canned goods out of the cupboard and found a tasty bag of marshmallows to snack on. Being underweight meant that I wanted to eat as much as I could to fatten up as soon as possible. I found a cooked salmon that was still fresh. I also found a hooked water bottle that'd be very useful, along with a bit of thread for potential medical purposes later on. I also found a cigar, which would help with my smoker trait. I filled the water bottle up and kept searching the house. A skill book and a fedora. Let's go. Zombies. I look more like a crazy detective now. My drip game was already off to a bangin' start. I left out the front door and hopped the fence to the neighboring home. Front door was locked again, and I had a few friends blocking my entrance through the window. There we go. After I gave them my neighborly greeting, I pried open the window and crawled inside. I grabbed what food supplies I could find in the kitchen and used the rest of my bourbon to create a useful cocktail. More on that later though. I finally found a frying pan that would make for a decent weapon and grabbed a freshly cooked patty that was conveniently waiting for me in the oven to eat. My bandage was dirty, so I changed it out and continued looking for anything useful. Oh, I forgot to turn that stupid mod off. That's unfortunate. Nothing else was useful in that house, so I moved on to the next. It looked like the baseball parking lot had a lot of zombies hanging around. I'd need to be careful not to alert them. A skill book for later, and another freshly cooked salmon to eat. Upstairs, I found a belt, which was nice, and in the other bedroom, a fanny pack and a duffel bag.
Nice.
With both bags equipped, I was able to organize my equipment better. Food and drink went into the duffel bag, and my recreational items went into the fanny pack for easy access. While organizing my stuff, I heard some activity nearby. That's not good. A quick smoke break helped take the edge off, and I was ready to keep moving. I refilled my water bottle using some refreshing toilet water, and it was time to sneak on. Peeking out the window, it seemed like the front door wasn't a great option now, so I opted to sneak out the back door instead. There were a few zombies loitering nearby that noticed me. Gotta take care of that. There we go. I took the messenger bag off one of the corpses and slung it over my back. The more bags, the merrier. I also got a slight drip upgrade with a camo boonie hat and sweet shades. Nice. No witnesses though. There was a corpse further down that had a digital watch that would really come in handy with tracking the time. I entered another townhouse and found a nice meat cleaver, which was definitely better than the frying pan. I ate an entire stick of butter to help fatten me up and some more canned goods. More importantly, I found a can opener, which meant I could actually eat the canned food I've been collecting. My third bag would be used for all my medical supplies I've collected. Keeping my inventory organized would be really useful for when I needed to grab something quickly. Nothing else of value inside, so I moved on to the next house. I found a beer, which did a really good job washing down that butter I had for dinner. I grabbed more medicine and another duffel bag. The other bedroom was interesting. It had a cot instead of a bed, and in the closet, I found 2 different crossbows and some bolts. A ranged weapon that doesn't make a lot of noise would be really nice to have. Even if my aiming stinks right now, I can use this to slowly level it up without drawing a horde to me instantly. I attached the compound crossbow to my back and loaded up a bolt. At this point, I was pretty exhausted and decided to call it a night in the cot that was set up here. Overall, it was a pretty good first day, minus the whole almost getting bit part, of course. This just in, we've received breaking news that this video is sponsored by War Thunder. What makes War Thunder so great? Maybe because it's the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. Maybe because you can choose between over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships of 10 major nations. Wait, did I read that right? 2,500? Wow, that's quite the selection. Or maybe because it's available for free on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, and it's cross-platform. On top of all this, it sports realistic graphics with incredibly detailed vehicles, and I hope you play with your headphones on because it has awesome and authentic sound effects so you can really feel the power of piloting these massive war machines. If you're looking for satisfying vehicle combat, War Thunder doesn't disappoint. It doesn't just use hitboxes. Each vehicle has been expertly designed to have realistic compartments and damage models, so when you hit the enemy in their sweet spot, they're really gonna feel it. To make it even more satisfying, War Thunder uses their X-ray view to see exactly where the shell penetrated, which components were affected, and what led to the destruction of the vehicle. Featuring a comprehensive customization system, you can make your favorite vehicle stand out in this community of over 70 million players in epic PvP battles with high-octane combat. Join now using my link in the description and pinned comment below, and you can experience the thrill of War Thunder for free on PC, Xbox, or PlayStation. New and returning players that haven't played in the last 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack across all platforms that include multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account time. It's only available for a limited time though, so make sure to be quick. Now, back to the video. I woke up bright and early on the second day and checked my wound. It was already healed. Perfect. I snuck out the front door using a blanket of fog to help keep me hidden from the undead lurking throughout the city. Checking a nearby corpse, I found a nice upgrade to my current drip status. Bright pink shoes. Let's go. A few zombies were in the townhouse complex, and I thought this would be a great time to try out my new crossbow. Okay. Okay, time to switch to the cleaver. The killing led me into a tasty salami breakfast and a new townhouse to explore. Keep on eating, trying to get my weight up. I also found a freshly cooked pot of stew that I just hoisted off the stove and sucked in from the pot. I must have made too much noise earlier as I heard lots of banging somewhere nearby. This didn't stop me from enjoying my food and grabbing more supplies though. There was another really important find in the living room. A magazine that would teach me a sick dance move. I had to take it. Was the banging coming from door number 1? Nope. How about door number 2? Nope. I did find this nice looking jacket though. I liked it better than my hobo jacket and made the exchange. Okay, what about door number 3? Still nothing. Not sure exactly where the clamoring was coming from. I made my way out the front door and oh crap! Hello there. Okay, back inside we go. Taking the back door instead, I cut through the courtyard and through one of the houses on the eastern side to try and lose the group. As I crept outside, it looked like I lost them, but found a couple of stragglers. More commotion from the townhouses. I decided I would let that area cool off and start looking for a car in the baseball stadium's parking lot. I was working on leveling my aiming skill where I could along the way. There was a nice looking truck parked nearby and, lucky for me, the key was still sitting in the ignition. Yoink! I popped the hood open and gave it a look-see. Overall it was in pretty good condition. I found a gas can in the trunk of another car, and the keys in the ignition of another nice looking truck. This one looked good too. Nice. I was carrying around too much stuff, so I transferred a lot of excess supplies into my second duffel bag. I tossed the bag into the bed of the black truck. Once I had some fuel, I could easily escape the area if necessary. I peeked into my recreational fanny pack and took the edge off with a nice cigar. Okay, normally I hate it when that happens, but the timing there was actually pretty good with the cigar. Anyways, I made my way into the stadium and saw there were quite a lot of zombies hanging around there. Time to level up my shooting skills. Hold on. Almost ready. There we go. It was hard to use the crossbow when there were more than 2 zombies together. It was meat cleaving time. The car nearby had its key just sitting in the parking lot right beside it, so I added that to my keychain collection. It also had a little bit of gas that I siphoned into my gas container. This was the car that kept giving. In the trunk was a trauma bag with car maintenance supplies, which would be nice to have in the truck if I found myself in a pinch. But it looked like my looting drew some unwanted attention. Oh boy. Okay, well the loot transfer will have to wait. This group is a bit too large and tedious. I have a better idea. Hello again, my little sedan friend. I need your assistance. Come on. Okay, good. That cut a little too close. And I'll just back into this crowd of zombies here. And come back through. Oh, that's a lot of crunching. We'll back up one more time for good measure. Wow, this group sure looks a lot more manageable now. I can get back to moving my crap around. Oh, actually. There we go. Finally, I can load the truck. Oh, crap! Wait, my hands are full. Oh, jeez. And I panic fired my crossbow and missed. Oh, man. All right, let me reload. Hey, lay there for a second. And... well, that was easy. Smooth moves there, hot dog. Okay, now where was I? I loaded up the items and added some fuel to the truck. Now I had a getaway vehicle if I needed to relocate at a moment's notice. I came back to borrow a little more Christine's fuel for something important. Yeah, you'll see soon enough. Since I had another container, I made one more special cocktail for good measure. Even though it felt like I killed off a good handful of zombies, this wasn't even a dent in the grand scheme of things. I was tired of killing in the parking lot and wanted to take a break inside. I found a comfy bed to rest on while listening to the sounds of nearby undead groaning while aimlessly wandering the city and decided to read some very important literature. I wonder how many dance moves I can learn during my stay in Louisville. Maybe I'll make a bucket list and add this to it. After I finished reading, I went back downstairs and snuck out the back door. So far, the coast was clear. Oh, would you look at that? Looks like only a few noticed me. It's cleaving time. Before the others noticed me, I snuck back over to the townhouses where I found some more crossbow bolts and loaded them into my bag. At this point, I was pretty beat. It had already been 2 very long days, and I was ready to sleep to conclude one more crazy day in the city. On day 3, I woke up way too early, but that's the way it goes. I took a quick smoke break to take the edge off. Only 51 zombies killed so far. Not too bad, I guess. I grabbed a quick snack out of the fridge for breakfast and snuck back outside, trying not to draw attention to myself. There are still a couple zombies here. Glass shattering nearby, but I couldn't pinpoint where it was coming from. A couple more zombies were lingering here, but they aren't an issue individually. I cut through the bottom of the townhouses where another zombie slumped over the fence for an easy kill while I made my way back to the baseball stadium parking lot. More zombies were already hanging out by their dead friends. I added them to the corpse pile. One more zombie was blocking me from the entrance to the stadium. I wasn't even able to get into the entrance yesterday. I guess this counts as progress? It was quiet. Maybe too quiet. Oh, there's one. Ah, there they are. Looks like they were hanging out deeper inside. I grabbed their attention and got more coming for me than I meant to, but that's okay. I just lead them outside and slowly whittle them down. You know, it's funny, you do the same thing over and over without issue, and all it takes is just one click where your timing is off and one gets you. I dodged the other one and knocked the zombie to the ground. My swinging was way slower. Of course it injured my right forearm. Perfect. I had to fall back and whew, thank goodness it was only a scratch again. I wrapped up my arm while the horde was in hot pursuit, hungry for a little more than a scratch. With my arm wrapped up, I was able to get back to work. So this was a little bit more work than I was expecting since the zombies just kept coming, so I had a better idea. Hello again, Christine. I need your assistance. Driving back and forth over zombies just feels, oh, so satisfying. I love that splatter. Anyways, suck on that, baseball stadium zombies. After clearing out that mess, I snuck back in to see what kind of progress I made inside. I found my glasses and hat, which I needed for my and while I finished slapping my hat on, a few more zombies were coming out to get a closer look. I led them outside because there was actually something I wanted to show them. There were a A lot more zombies than I thought there'd be. Anyways, I found a nightstick and a handgun on one of the corpses, so I attached them both to my belt. I don't know why I was surprised by the amount of zombies that followed me out before, because a lot more kept pouring out from within the stadium. After giving a handful more zombies the old police baton treatment, I was finally able to creep through the turnstile, but there are still a lot of zombies just hanging out there. Instead of trying to form a zombie conga line and spending all day slowly cutting them down, I lured a manageable group out and would introduce their domes to my front and rear bumpers. This was a faster, safer, and easier way to clear up large groups, and once I ran down the majority, I could give the car a break and finish off the rest by hand. Ugh. But going back in, it looked like nothing really changed. I'd hit them with a few pss, 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 and rinse and repeat. Run them down, get out of the car, clear out the stragglers. Just when I thought I made a little bit of headway, more would pour out from other areas of the stadium. The cadence of this song and dance continued while I was killing a lot of zombies. Their numbers just seemed infinite. And this was just one of the hundreds of surrounding buildings in the city. This is gonna be a long 100 days, isn't it? After my nth killing spree, I was actually able to make it a little bit further into the stadium, at least until zombies from the stairs started coming down to see me. I was getting exhausted and very hungry. I could manage 2, maybe 3 at a time like this without issue, but their numbers would grow exponentially in a matter of seconds, which seemed like a good sign to hightail it out so I could rest up and keep working at it later. I didn't really have a specific townhouse as my own, and I would just continue exploring this area while I had downtime. Front door was locked, so through the window I went. I was digging up some delicious SpaghettiOs from the kitchen when I noticed a zombie spotted me. So much for a quiet, peaceful dinner. I ate and was catching my breath while listening to the banging on the window. Oh, well that's annoying. Taking a peek outside, there were a few more zombies than I was expecting. I took a single swing and realized this wasn't a fight I wanted to fight right now, so I turned and ran, trying to lose them around the corner of the building. Of course, when I tried to lose that group, I ran into other groups that were waiting. Since I had zombies interested in me from pretty much all angles, I went back to the baseball stadium and saw another large group was waiting outside for me there too. I grabbed their attention and circled back, seeing that the rest of the zombies were still in hot pursuit. I got enough distance to safely hop back into the car as I wanted to introduce them to Christine. Christine? Christine! Oh, okay, good. That was a little too close for comfort. Okie dokie then. It didn't take long and I flattened almost every single one. Though, I wasn't sure how much more abuse old Christine could take. I changed out the dirty bandage and saw that my wound from earlier was infected. Dang. I disinfected the area and applied some clean bandages to help it heal. It wasn't even 6 p.m. yet, but I was exhausted. I guess that's what happens when you wake up at 4:30 in the morning and spend 12-ish hours just killing zombies. Not knowing how long I had until the water and power would shut off, I washed myself completely down as I was covered in blood and grime. After I cleaned up, I climbed into a bed and did some casual reading. I was already exhausted at this point, but I don't want my sleep schedule to be off by too much, so I read until about 9 p.m. and then went to sleep. I slept heavily until 6 a.m. on day 4 and hopped out of bed ready to continue this grueling journey. The TV was left on downstairs and I caught some of the cooking show, which almost instantly leveled up my cooking skill. Looks like casually reading a cookbook already came in handy. I found the Breakfast of Champions in one of the cupboards and chowed down. No bowl, no milk, but the generic brand cereal was still delicious. I was well fed and rested, so I crept back out the front door and made my way back towards the baseball stadium. I wanted to continue working on clearing this place out. I grabbed a holster from a corpse and found some sick looking aviators that upped my drip game a little bit further. Alright, let's get back to work. And my nightstick broke. Now what? Christine still has some life left in her yet. I wonder if I can finally go further inside now. After a full day of pretty much killing zombies in the stadium, I was finally able to make my way into the back hall. I snuck into a storage closet and found a broomstick on the supply shelf, which gave me an idea. Oh yeah, crudely crafted spear time, baby. I heard a thudding and found a friend outside of the closet. Oh yeah, this is nice. Other than the straggler, the hall was still clear. I went into the second supply closet and found another valuable treasure inside. Dance magazine number 22. I also found 4 baseball bats? Yes, please. Put 3 of them in my bag and equipped the 4th one. Sorry, makeshift spear, but your time has come to an end.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
I heard some thudding coming from the locker room toilets and cautiously flipped each door open until I found my bathroom buddy. I began fighting my way out as the baseball bats were a nice find, but I didn't want to go too far into the stadium yet. It was time to leave. Oh crap! Man, sometimes that jump scare really does get me. Of course the noise brought in another large group of zombies that were lining up to check out my new bat collection, but I had something even cooler to show them. There's still so many zombies in the stadium, and instead of spending another day or two just trying to make a little headway in there, I wanted to shake things up a bit. I hopped into my generic brand Truck 150 and took it out for a little stroll around the block. Wow. There are a lot of zombies out here. I thought maybe a friendly toot of the horn would help get their attention, as I wanted to show them something that was pretty neat. I drove slowly while giving a few more honks as a large horde was starting to form behind me. I went down the block a few yards to get some distance and hopped out. Remember those Molotov cocktails I made before? I think it was finally time to use one. I ran around the building as they got a little too close to my truck, and I wanted to get some space between us. Unfortunately, it started to rain, but I thought the plan would still work. I could also grab the attention of some more zombies along the way. I rounded the corner and circled back to the truck. I called out to get their attention and prepared the most epic Molotov throw of all time. Granada! And, is it gonna go off? So that wasn't as cool as I pictured in my head, but as I hopped into the truck, I saw that the Molotov did indeed blow up. It just did it very quietly. I drove the truck back into the flames to draw in as many zombies as I could in case the rain doused my flames prematurely. So far, everything looked good, so I slowly lured the flaming horde behind me towards the parking lot. As they bunched together, they caught each other on fire, spreading the flames quite nicely. I squeezed ever so gingerly beside a parked van to completely block off access to my driver's side door. Once I was in position, I laid on the horn for a while to draw as much attention to me as possible. I'm sure you've seen this trick done before, and while it's a little cheesy, the alternative is to manually kill them one by one or run them over in small groups, and I wanted to make a little bit of progress in the first few days, and this helped me tone down the local zombie population a bit. After they burned for a while, I could hear them dropping like flies as the flames consumed them. This went on for over 12 hours into day 5 until I was surrounded by a stinking pile of ash and the pattering of the rain pouring over my truck. I hopped out, grabbed some food from the truck as I was not only exhausted, but I was also starving. Since I used this truck as my fireball of deathmobile, I decided to move my bug out bags into the white truck that was in equally good condition. I equipped my mini crossbow and took a quick smoke break in the rain to cool off before hopping into the white truck to get some rest. I slept until almost 9 p.m. and I didn't want my sleep schedule to be completely messed up from my little stunt, so I pounded some sleeping pills and went right back to sleep. While day 5 was pretty much completely slept away, I woke up at 9:30 a.m. on day 6 ready to continue my adventure. After eating a light breakfast, I made my way to good old Christine, who was getting closer to her end, and took her for a little stroll. I drove through the city for about an hour looking for something in particular. I rounded the corner and there it was, the Louisville Police Department and Detention Services. I wouldn't be able to survive being trapped in Louisville by booping zombies on the head one by one with the Louisville Slugger. I'd need something with a little more oomph, and I knew I'd find it in there. An issue with this place is that there are just too many zombies everywhere, and going in recklessly would surely be a death sentence. So I did my rounds making another ruckus with my horn and got the zombies all riled up. After that, I squeezed beside a banged up truck in the middle of the road, and once I was in position, I got out, a little bit more slowly than I would have liked, and did what I could do to bunch them all up again. I'm sure you already know where this is going. Like before, I sat in the safety of my car and drew in as many as I could while the wildfire spread through the mall. About 8 hours later, the last of the flame finally petered out, and all that was left was a single zombie and a whole lot of soot. Almost 2,000 kills already, though fire was over 3/4 of that, which might be cheating a little bit, but I'll take what I can get. And even after all that, there were still plenty more around that had to be taken care of. It was too late for me to venture into the police station without knowing what exactly I'd find in there, so I decided to make my way back to the townhouses and thought I'd take care of any zombies that crossed my path along the way. But of course, any engagement I made, too many zombies would come pouring out and be too much for me to take on while being this tired. A great way to start off day 7. Like, where'd all these guys come from? But you know how we deal with these groups. So I started another arson spree. I think I might be a pyromaniac. I tried to rally up whatever nearby zombies I could find and remove them as an obstacle when I planned to come back later that day. I walked them all the way back to my black truck and repeated the process for a 3rd time until they all burnt to a crisp. While enjoying the sounds of my undead barbecue, I decided to mark my path to the police department for future reference. I accidentally stayed up all night again into the early morning of day 7, and the last of the flaming zombies died off. I hopped out and needed to get some sleep, so I made my way into one of the townhouses and found a nice bed to crash in. What was that noise? That wasn't good. I stayed asleep for a few more hours as a helicopter just hung out, drawing in way more noise than I would have liked. I rushed out to my white truck and hopped in as I wanted to get away from this area if the helicopter was going to be hanging around me. I drove around the block towards the expo center for a bit and there was an alarm going off nearby. I didn't want to stay in one place right now though and kept on driving and oh, hello there. Some remnants of my previous antics still lingered, I see. After spending a few hours to evade the helicopter, it was finally gone and more rain was pouring down. The night was still young though. I filled up with the leftover food in one of the townhouses and made my way out the back, sneaking onto the main road. I was making this trip on foot to avoid drawing unwanted attention my way. Ugh, are you kidding me? I hate that mod. Anyways, I continued my super stealthy mission and cut through an alleyway that led me straight to my destination. I carefully removed the broken glass and climbed on in, up the stairs, through the skyway, and finally, my destination. Ugh, I don't know why I thought this would be unlocked and no key nearby. Okay, down the stairs, out the front door, and hello there, friendly zombie neighbors. I led a couple of zombies back to the police department and dispatched them inside. And to my luck, the second zombie had a key on him, and since he was killed inside the police department, guess what that key would work on now? Back up the stairs, and what a great way to begin day 8 as I open the door to the American Dream treasure trove. Oh baby, let's take a look here. Shotgun shells, guns, weapon attachments, rifle sling. That was a good first impression, but let's check out the other room. Oh baby, let's go. There's probably enough ammo in here to last me for a few weeks at least. Honestly, between all the gun mods, equipment, ammo types, and attachments, I felt overwhelmed by what this room had to offer, but I grabbed what I could, like a bulletproof vest, some drip upgrades for more ammo storage, this massive ammo magazine, a delicious banana snack to tide me over for a bit, this awesome shotgun with a bayonet on it, some more ammo belt drip, an awesome looking backpack, which I had to transfer everything over to, and a nifty little sidearm, which could also hold 40 bullets in one clip. Oh yeah, there we go. Sometimes maybe I do like that mod just a little bit. After spending hours rummaging through the armory, it was early morning and I needed to get back to drop off my treasures. Down the stairs, out the door into the calming rain. Things were looking good and I was feeling good too. I found Christine surrounded by the ashes of my foes and she still had life in her yet. I drove her back to the parking lot where things were pretty quiet now, which I guess happens when you cook about 2,000 zombies in the surrounding area. I swapped to my truck to do some surveying and to my surprise, right around the block was a lovely looking camper parked, almost like it was its destiny for me to find it here waiting for me. I got into position and attached it to the truck. I was also lucky enough to find the key by the door, which I added to my collection of keys. I was anxious to look inside and see what my new mobile base of operations looked like. Cozy. Not a lot of space, but more than enough for me, and a lovely lady to keep me company while my sanity slowly wanes. Not bad. Not bad at all. Now with something like this, it completely changed the game for me. My plans immediately shifted to prioritize setting this camper up to store my food and supplies, which took some time organizing. I had most of the loot in my bags dropped off, but I still had more in the other parking lot. And while the TV is nice, it took up valuable real estate in there, which just wouldn't do, so I left it outside, got in my truck, and took it over to my other vehicles. I dug my bug out bag from the bed of the truck and spent more time arranging my supplies. My sleep schedule was still out of whack from the previous day, and I was already exhausted, but I forced myself to stay awake while I relaxed in my new bed and enjoyed some light reading. I made it to 7 p.m. and was dead tired at that point, but this was late enough to get back on a regular schedule. I closed the book and my head fell hard into the bed. It was time to sleep, because tomorrow, I had big plans with the Grand Ohio Mall. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks again to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to check out War Thunder today for free on PC, Xbox, or PlayStation using my link in the description or the pinned comment below. Newer returning players who haven't played in the last 6 months will also receive a huge bonus pack across all platforms, including multiple premium vehicles, in-game currency, and more. Do you think I'll actually be able to survive 100 days in Louisville? Let me know in the comments below. Also, special thanks to all my patrons who help support my channel. I really appreciate it. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, have a good one.